putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
That journalists make honest mistakes, and that doesn't make them fake news. But the question that
when journalists make honest mistakes, they should own up to them. Sometimes, and a lot of times you don't. But there's a difference. There's a very big... I'm sorry, I'm not finished. There's a very big difference between making honest mistakes and purposefully misleading the American people, something that happens regularly. You can't say, I'm not done. You cannot say that it's an honest mistake when you're purposely putting out information that you know to be false.
Welcome back, everybody. That, of course, was Sarah Sanders explaining to Jim Costa that you're not making honest mistakes. You're making intentional mistakes, and you're doing it with an agenda. You're doing it because you've set a narrative, and you know what? We all know, the American people know. Glad you guys are here. KJRadio.com. So what you're listening to, well, that's where you can find out more about us. The Kevin Jackson Show is what you're listening to. Kevin Jackson is actually what you're listening to. You don't listen to a show per se. You listen to the person who does this show. Yeah, now that we've gotten that straight out. Because semantics are important. George Carlin let me know that years ago. That the lexicon, you got to be aware of what people say, what they mean, because it changes quite a bit.
Sometime during my life, toilet paper became bathroom tissue. I wasn't notified of this. No one asked me if I agreed with it. It just happened. Toilet paper became bathroom tissue. Sneakers became running shoes. False teeth became dental appliances. Medicine became medication. Information became directory assistance. The dump became the landfill. Car crashes became automobile accidents. Partly cloudy became partly sunny. Motels became motor lodges. House trailers became mobile homes. Used cars became previously owned transportation. Room service became guest room dining, and constipation became occasional irregularity. When I was a little kid, if I got sick, they wanted me to go to the hospital and see the doctor. Now they want me to go to a health maintenance organization or a wellness center to consult a healthcare delivery professional. Poor people used to live in slums. Now the economically disadvantaged occupy substandard housing in the inner cities. And they're broke. They're broke. They don't have a negative cash flow position. They're broke. Because a lot of them were fired. You know, fired. Management wanted to curtail redundancies in the human resources area. So many people are no longer viable members of the workforce. Smug, greedy, well-fed white people have invented a language to conceal their sins. It's as simple as that.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And speaking of which, one that I know, by the way, this is Kevin Jackson, not a smug, greedy white person, but a not so smug, poor black person. But I want to play a clip of David Frum, who talks about the mistakes that are being made in journalism on behalf of Donald Trump. And he says, you know what? These mistakes are actually good. Here he is.
You asked the question, why should, given these mistakes, why should people trust the media? And I would say the mistakes are precisely the reason that people should trust the media. The press, the worst mistakes that, again, when we talk about the press, we exclude Fox. I mean, we talk about press organizations that have an interest in finding truth. Excluding Fox, the worst mistakes that press organizations have made in the coverage of Trump has precisely occurred in their effort, their overzealous effort to be fair to the president.
All right, everybody, welcome back again. Kevin Jackson here. Truly one of the most fun I've had in media in my adult life, my entire adult life, for the first time in my adult life. And to see President Trump calling out this media is one thing, but to watch the media make themselves the story is priceless. Was that not one of the most moronic things you've ever heard in your life? David Frum, the senior editor of The Atlantic. Yeah. Why should, given these mistakes, why should people trust the media? I don't know, David. Please tell. Mistakes are precisely the reason you should trust people. Because we're all fallible. We all make mistakes. The media makes mistakes. The press, worst mistake, he says, And he excludes Fox. Well, forgetting Fox. We're not talking about, they're not press. If I were Fox, Suzanne, I'd say, hey, thank you for excluding me from what you deem press. But he says excluding Fox, the worst mistakes that these organizations have made in the coverage of Trump has precisely occurred in their overzealous effort to be fair. Yeah. Now, the more I see interviews like his and read these stories where the media intentionally lie about you people, you conservatives, us, or the president, let me tell you something, the more joy I feel. Now, I know that may seem counterintuitive, but I believe the American people are smart. Let me give you an example. If you believe that people found Hillary Clinton untrustworthy in November of 2016, I suggest to you more of them now believe her to be untrustworthy than they did then. Don't look at any polls. They're not going to tell you the truth. How much about the FBI do we need to reveal to you for you to say they're not to be trusted right now? So let me ask the question this way. You trust the FBI more now today than you did a week ago, than you did a month ago, than you did a year ago? Let me tell you my trust. The FBI's level of trust has gone from the highest level down to 0 over the past decade. I used to not think about, when they said, oh, the FBI stepping in, I'd go, ooh, the FBI stepping in. Good. We finally are going to get some justice in this situation. That's what I used to think. Now when they tell me the FBI's coming in, I think Nobel Peace Prize. Excuse me. I think big deal. That doesn't guarantee you justice or make it like, oh, the FBI's coming in. You're like, oh, man. Yeah, well, I hope he's not a Republican. That's what I think. If I see the FBI involved in a case on TV, I don't think, wow, fairness, justice. I think like black leftists. Oh, somebody about to get a beat down. Oh, man. As Democrats prepare for 2018, folks, let me tell you something. They're panicked, and they have good reason. You see, they don't have a message. Remember better, better, better? Neither does anybody else. And frankly, the Democrats hope you don't remember the stupid message they came up with. Chuck Schumer, we're going to be better. It'll be much better than before. It'll be better. They were trying to, get something off of Trump on that. So decades of destroying America with insane policies, and the Democrats lost big enough to find religion. And we lampooned them at the time because Hillary was floundering around during the campaign going, what do I stand for? And get this, we wrote about this. They had 84 core messages before her camp settled on this uber lame, stronger together. And then that failed because black people didn't get the memo. But, no worries. The Dems' new core message was being worked on. And it was so good that the New York House Democrat caucus chair, a guy by the name of Joe Crowley, said that message is not so great. It lacks a clear core message amid what he called Republican disarray. And he says, we got to come up with something. And what was the funniest part of that to me was the Democrats realized that they didn't have a core message. Not just a message. We're not talking about a catchy jingle like change we can believe in. They had no core message. They don't know what they stand for. Now, I'm curious as to when they actually had a core message other than we hate black people. You want to help us hang some. And if it's lost, then as I said before, you might look for the last place you put it. Maybe 2008, change we believe in, and the messenger that you believed was going to deliver it. And America got the message, folks, because in 2016, we decided to implement change we can really believe in. And now we got Democrat icons dropping like North Korean rockets. Senator Franken resigned, and believe it or not, they considered him presidential material. Now he's on the dung heap of history as a sexual predator. And between now and election time, folks, others are going to fall. The Russia investigation has boomeranged with laser precision, knocking out all these dyed-in-the-wool leftist bureaucrats, and almost all of Special Prosecutor Mueller's team is embroiled in some sort of controversy, and that's going to get worse. We've been talking about it all day. So don't be surprised to see at least one special prosecutor appointed specifically at high-ranking Democrats. This is getting ugly for you.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.